Man, 2023 is a pretty crazy year. Hopefully things are gonna start calming down though. Oh. I don't really know how to begin this. I've written and erased multiple drafts for this at this point, so I figured I'll just start bluntly. I'm late enough for this video as is. This is gonna be me listing my favorite movies, games, stuff like that, 2023. So let's get into it. I touched on Barry Season 4 already in another video, which you should go check out if you haven't already. But in short, I just think it was really an overhated season. But speaking of final seasons, Succession Season 4 was amazing. While not my favorite show of all time like it is for others, Succession is still just a phenomenal drama, especially carried by the great writing, cinematography, and performances. Without spoiling anything, I'll just say that I really like finales that feel more like this is the end of our time in the world of the show rather than like a definitive end to everything happening. In terms of shows that are continuing, however, The Bear Season 2 was also great. Fishes and Forks, especially the latter, are two of the greatest episodes of television ever in my eyes. I absolutely cannot wait to see what's in store for Season 3. I Think You Should Leave Season 3 was also great, and honestly had some of the best sketches of the series, yet at the same time I feel that as this show has gone on and gets higher highs, it also has lower lows. Still, the positives greatly outweigh the negatives. We also got Vinland Saga Season 2, which is just beautiful. Definitely one of, if not the best anime of this generation. Speaking of anime, we got the One Piece live action this year, which I thought was actually pretty decent. It's not perfect, but unlike other anime adaptations, it seems to be made out of like a genuine love for the source material, unlike others that seem to have like a weird contempt for it. 2023 was a great year for games, though I didn't really play a whole lot of the new games this year. The ones I did play, however, were nearly all amazing. Crab Champions, for example, is currently shaping up to be one of the best roguelikes of this decade. I would definitely recommend it, especially if you're a fan of games like Risk of Rain 2. Parat is also a competitor for Best Boomer Shooter of the decade. The gunplay is very satisfying, and as a whole, it's just a really weird game, especially in the final episode. Definitely check this one out. Lethal Company has been talked about endlessly in the past couple of months, so all I'll say is that if you haven't been playing this game, definitely get it. It's only like $10 anyway. The Resident Evil 4 remake was also pretty good. I think I have a particular attachment to this one just because RE4 was the first one I got into the series with, but it's still great nonetheless. Pikmin 4 is also another fourth game in the series that's not really the fourth game that I liked. I think I need to revisit other Pikmin games in the future, but this one might be my favorite in the series so far. The way it combines elements from every other game in the series is great. But like I said though, I do need to revisit the others to be sure. Maybe there'll be a future video. While it didn't come out this year, I also just wanted to highlight all the updates that have been happening with Fortnite. I kind of stopped playing the game for a few years, I just kind of grew bored with it, but I came back like many others did with the OG season. And I decided to stick around just to see what's going on after the Big Bang event, and I gotta say, they've added like so much stuff now, it's just not at all the same game. And it's honestly a ton of fun. It's the most fun I've had in a multiplayer game for, I don't know, quite a while now. I'd definitely play it if you aren't really into it already. I'm definitely going to stick around to see what they're going to add in the future. This will probably be the longest segment in the video, so let's get started. I didn't expect this year to have so many good movies, but here we are. We definitely had some pretty garbage movies sprinkled throughout though, so let's just get those out of the way. Ant-Man 3 made me genuinely sad, Rebel Moon needs way more time in the oven, Cocaine Bear had a lot of missed potential, so did Leave the World Behind, and I really did not like the FNAF movie. On to the good stuff. The Killer was a decent Fincher flick, not his greatest stuff ever, but overall enjoyable, and the chapter text reminded me a bit of the Hitman text. Missing was surprisingly enjoyable as well. I thought this was going to be like some lazy cash grab sequel to a decent movie from 2018, but it managed to stand on its own quite a bit. Dream Scenario proves once again that Nick Cage needs to stay in the indie scene. Guardians 3 is the last MCU movie. They Clone Tyrone came out as well amidst all the like Barbie Oppenheimer stuff, and everyone missed it, which is a shame because it was a really fun movie. Speaking of Barbie and Oppenheimer, Barbie was pretty good overall I'd say, but Oppenheimer, my god, what a masterpiece. While not perfect, the Iron Claw resonated with me quite a bit. For those who don't know, I'm from Texas, and while they were way before my time, I've heard stories about the impacts the Von Erich family have had on people growing up during that time, so seeing their story get mostly the justice it deserved was great to see. John Wick 4 was a great conclusion to the first 4 movies, and I really hope the franchise doesn't continue from this point, as I feel like it'd be milking it a little bit, but I feel like that's going to happen, so it is what it is. Godzilla Minus One was the first time I actually cared about the human story in one of these like kaiju movies, but was afraid it's likely going to become a cult classic in like 10 to 15 years, calling it now. The Holdovers brings in a feeling of genuineness that I feel is missing from a lot of modern media, which I may talk about this in a future video. Lastly, I want to highlight my favorite movie of the year, which is Killers of the Flower Moon. I think I've made it clear before that Martin Scorsese is one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. I'm currently trying to watch all of his feature films, and I'm almost done on that part, so whenever a new film comes out, I'm just always going to be ready to see it. This film does a great job of portraying a horrific yet not really talked about part of US history. De Niro and DiCaprio give some of the best performances of their careers, and as for Gladstone, I really hope she's able to find more high-profile work because she gave probably the best performance of the whole movie. Also, I'd just like to note that there's absolutely nothing wrong with the film being over 3 hours. The length really allows you to understand the point of view of the Osage, and it just fills you with dread and unease throughout the entire runtime. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry if this feels a little rushed, mostly because it kind of is. I wasn't really sure how I wanted to structure this video, so I figured I'd make it a bit more casual. I'm hoping to find a better structure if I do a video like this again for 2024. More videos coming soon. Peace.